reasons you may know already, but luckily Anne and I have both survived a bit of a traumatic year.
Thank you very much. Well, thank you very much. Thank you to those that posted. We'll give one in a few minutes.
Okay, Nick. Claimed to have initiated a lot of new clubs and societies themselves. Idea and presentation, as well as colour images. So perhaps we'll do them
all right, guys. Okay, thank you, Guy, and thank you everybody who voted for me for the first W.F. Denning and soon-to-be directors of the comic section. This sycamore tree that was actually discovered by two professionals, and this guy called Weber, who, this was, you mentioned, see the date, 1946, just after the Second World War, 17 to magnitude 2 overnight. I still remember receiving the email from Mark reporting that it had brightened, and then this is in front of one of the old observatory domes at Ondřejov. Ondřejov's about 40 kilometres south of Prague. Magnitude then, because you include the star count.
So I am chairman of the Basingstoke Astronomical Society. We've been running just over 10 years. We've still got a membership somewhere between 50 and 60 people, which isn't bad, of all ages, from young children still at school right the way through to people that are retired. So you know, we've got a really good demographic, and in terms of what I'm photographing, or indeed this day and age, actually what we're streaming out onto the web around the world as a video stream, which literally comes from home with everything in it and comes to the top of the mountain with me because it saves unpacking and losing things. And then Alan, annoyingly enough, first time he's ever taken an astro photo, first time he's been to La Palma, and the first one to get a shot and download it and say, look, I've got a picture, mountain. So the moon was up for a couple of days, just briefly, when we first arrived before it disappeared.
You're in the movie. You're at the movie.
Although I know you're biased. So Dr. Heather Campbell's currently at the Institute of Astronomy, so she falls asleep during the lecture.
Discovering so far, and how amateur astronomers have been helping us up till now, and a bit about how you guys can get involved if you're interested. Sun shield here you can see is about the size of half a tennis survey that's complementing. So what's Sky going to see? So I said it's scanning the whole sky rotation of the stars in our galaxy. You can figure out how much dark matter is in there. The blue is the blue and I think they haven't made any announcements yet. I think they're going to switch on soon.
The University of Warwick, with one of our great friends, Boris Gainsey, who's been to TA meetings before many times.
To you all today, and I'm going to talk to you about a topic that you might not have heard very much about. You might have heard about the formation of extrasolar planets and the statistics on the current extrasolar planets, but not very much on the fate. But an asteroid belt won't necessarily be. So that's why white dwarfs are special in this
I opened up the file in the meeting. So we'll see what happens. There may still be some problems. Also, a bit disconcerting. Pluto. Pluto has a very long, much longer than most people think, an interesting story. You know, phrases that comes from his writings is, people would say, he was as nutty as a fruitcake, or as our American friends would say, as fruity as a nutcake. So I don't know how they managed to turn the phrase around like that. But in fact, the size of the field, within a few weeks of starting, he had never, ever, I actually have attended an IEU General Assembly. At that point I hadn't. And I've seen how things work. Because people were saying, yes, the vote was scheduled on the last day when most people had gone home. And so all the people, this is his baby, is a little bit aggrieved. So.
Thank you.
You done? Right. You actually do see projected. You can't see it very well on here. You can see the shadows, and you can see... Look how dark Charon appears in contrast to Pluto. Pluto, Sputnik Planum, which looked peculiar even from quite a distance. Sputnik Planum, seen from much closer in. Again, polygonal structures. Nitrogen ice is flowing that way, but there are these big plates, and it's difficult to know exactly how. There's slightly different presentations. We've got the dark pole cap on Charon, and then you've got this huge canyon system that goes around the equator. This is how far we've come with Pluto. It's actually become a real world, and it is one of the most peculiar and inexplicable worlds in the entire solar system. Thanks very much.